positivity. I don't want to kind of turn from positivity into anything negative, but I just thought, because it might be vaguely amusing, if nothing else, to hear from everyone what's the most ludicrous thing that anyone's ever said to you, or that you've heard said about being a female in piping or pipe bands. We've probably all got stories, so come on. what's the daftest thing that anybody's ever said to you? When I go for it. You're on mute.
Okay. There's a few, but I can't say them.
That's the problem. I know. I was afraid to ask the question because you think, well, I can't identify anyone.
Yeah, exactly. No. One that I was thinking about is, I had been playing for probably about 5 years, and I had been in a grade 4 band, and I was looking to play in a grade 2 band. And the person who was not the pipe major of the grade 2 band, but very influential in the grade 2 band, said to the pipe major, she can't possibly play because she hasn't been playing long enough. Which was ridiculous, because I had the capability, right? And was able to do it, but in his mind, I had only been playing for an X number of years and couldn't possibly do that. So it was just totally ridiculous, And I did play.
Excellent. Of course you did.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. What do you, Shaunna, anybody ever said anything ludicrous to you?
Not really. I think maybe there was a couple of funny comments, like when you get hired to go and play a gig, and it's they're expecting somebody who is perhaps wearing number ones, and this image that they have in their head, and then you arrive there and they can't believe that they've never seen a lady piper before, and so that was actually pretty good, like some silly comment like that. So but really nothing that would be a ludicrous more than that, really, just more so surprising comment. Yeah. That's thankfully
good thing. Yeah. Kylie, any more?
Yeah, some like Glenna, I can't say. But I think that it didn't happen to me, but I remember at a competition, a fellow female competitor went over to James and was like, did the judge talk to Kylie after she played? And he's like, no, not really. And then the judge told this other fellow competitor that the tune, it was a P-Rock, the tune that she had played was not meant for a girl. And we were just like,
goodness.
So we spent the afternoon trying to figure out what tunes girls could play.
I
think that's like the most ludicrous thing. It was just like, what? I don't even understand what that means. Like, just to kind of wrap your head around that concept, was like, I don't even just tend to shake your head and kind of, what? Like, it was very bizarre. So I would say that was the most shocking and head shaking one I've ever heard. So it was just like, and disappointing, really, really disappointing.
Yes, we hope that those kind of comments are falling by the wayside, but yeah, they still maybe happen. Margaret, anybody ever told you need to play a different tune for a girl?
No, I haven't had that one. Well, not said it to my face anyway, but I suppose one kind of funny story, I remember I was pregnant with my first son. I was about 8 months pregnant, so quite obviously pregnant at this stage. And Alistair and I went to a piping event, and there was an old, piping, I think he follows the piping scene a bit, but he came over and he was really excited that I was, expecting a baby and that. And he said, oh, you'll be hoping it's a boy so he can be a piper. Really quickly, he kind of clocked what he had said, but I just thought it was quite funny. I mean, he didn't mean anything by it. I think it just shows, it's a generational
thing. Yeah. Well, that's funny.
funny. I did, you have to take it in in good spirits.
Well, that's it. And I think a lot of these comments, as you say, are maybe generational, and as I say, falling by the wayside, we hope. And I think, I've had a few things said to me over the years, and pretty much none have been from a position of, intending harm, or, they come from a good place, really. And it's just it's just that preperception, isn't it, of a bit of surprise about a woman playing the pipes, or a bit of it being seen as unusual, or somehow something different. But then I guess in a way that kind of comes back to the issue that it still is different, that it's still that the number of men playing in competitive events is still really heavily outweighs the number of women. And so as long as that's the case, to me, it's still going to be seen as a bit unusual and a bit different. And there are still going to be people who are surprised, as you say, Shaunna, we turn up for a gig and people just go, oh, and not that they're disappointed, not that they think there's anything wrong, but it's just surprising. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't think that we're not doing anything wrong. I really I think a lot, we're all in the business of encouragement and teaching and setting a good example, and we're doing a lot of things right. And I think we just have to have a fact-filled conversation about it. There are fewer girls starting, and we need to see if we can, certainly in our area here, that is the case. And that's not a fault of any efforts that we're all making to continue the tradition and the music, and there are a number of tremendously great female players in this area. And I remember as a young girl looking up to so many of them that were playing solos and playing in bands, and even early on, there were a lot of women that were even in the top grades. I look back at the winning the Worlds in '95 with SFU. There were 3 girls out of 17 that were in that core.
Yeah.
So kudos to back then to Terry for putting 3 girls in the core is tremendous. And I think now that the band cores are larger, I don't know that there's more females. It's actually probably a reduction in that ratio. There's, how many females in Scottish Power, Jenny? 2?
Would I be wrong in saying 1? I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 27-1 in Scottish Power.
Wow.
2019. It's very narrow. It is what it is, and I don't think that we're doing anything wrong. It's just if it gets to the point where if you can do the business, then you'll be in the circle, and if not, then that's okay too. There's a lot of we just have to keep telling the story and just keep teaching, and making the opportunities there, and have a plan. If you have a goal, have a plan. What are your ingredients to make that plan happen? Decide if you're what lane you're going to want to travel in. And there's a lot of options, and they're all good. It could be more performance or competitive, doesn't matter. Just keep playing. That's the big message.
Well,
I think
sorry.
I think we also need to look at this group in general. 4 out of 5 of us started in Highland dancing. Why? Why do we not start in piping?
Yeah, it just seemed the more obvious thing as a young girl in the late 70s, early 80s. It seemed like that's what you did, and I quite like the idea of going around the Highland Games and just dragging them out of the Highland dancing tents.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that should be our new recruitment policy. Just go around the Highland dancing tent and say, come on over here.
Yeah.
Here's a chanter. This is good fun.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
also
maybe we can
maybe
do a swap, because there's probably Highland dancing chats going on amongst boys and men in Highland dancing, going, why are there so few boys and men in Highland dancing? So we can do a swap.
I was just going to say, I think, it's important whether you're an organization or, someone that runs events, how you market the events, and have you got females advertised, if you're running a school, are all your teachers male? And of course, I know there's less of a pool maybe of female teachers, but I think it's good to have a female presence, especially if you're looking for grassroots, if you're trying to encourage girls to take it up, that maybe have no family involved in piping. If they don't see a female advertised as a little girl getting a lesson or a female tutor, if you can't see it, well, it's maybe going to be harder to see yourself do it as a little girl. And I know I was influenced when my father took me to the World Pipe Band Championships, and I watched SFU, and I saw the girls, as I was young at the time, but I saw the girls in the pipe corps, and I saw the girls in shots in the pipe corps, and I saw Anne Gray win the Dunvegan medal. I was competing in under 15 in Skye that year, and things like that, make an impact on a girl, on a female piper. So I think it's important that it's out there and there's a visual presence.
Agreed.
Totally.
I think it's important to see girls on the panels too.
Yes.
Well, and that's a really good point, because Kylie mentioned about her daughters saying, "Oh, girls can't be judges," and that's it is a little bit shocking, and so that's maybe a positive, that I think there is an increasing number of women on judging panels in different parts of the world, and that I think like you've all been saying to me, that's just quite an important thing for girls starting out to see. Well, there's a woman judging, there's women playing, there's women winning, competing, participating, and just being able to picture themselves in that world, instead of thinking, oh, it's just something that boys do.
Mm-hmm. I think with the five of us too, our whole families have been involved, which I know for me, if I had perhaps married somebody not in piping, perhaps that would have been a different journey for me. But because I married David, and all of our husbands are involved, and our families are involved, we keep the journey going forward. During pregnancy, after pregnancy, as we get older in our careers and more established and things, allowing that piping to continue has been, I know for me in particular, it's just been my whole life, because we've done the journey together, and it's been incredible. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's probably a good statement to finish on. I'm looking at the time, like I said at the start, Scotland and Israel are playing football, and minutes ago, so yeah, sort of joking, but I think that's probably a good sentiment to end on, that it has been incredible, and hopefully if anybody's seeing this and getting an idea of the positivity that piping has brought to all of our lives, and thinks, bring this video and show your daughters and young girls and say, start piping. It can definitely can change your life, and can bring so much community, friendship, enjoyment, lots and lots of positive impacts on life. So hopefully that's come through. But I'm going to stop the recording, and but I'll just finish by saying thanks again so much, everybody, for participating. It's been really, really good to speak to you all and to see you and have a good chat, and thanks very much again.